with all the big calls on all the big races. Welcome back. It's Friday morning somewhere in the capital. That means Dave Orton with you for another What a Shout with our sponsors, Bet365. Delighted to be here. Tingle Creek weekend has arrived. We go up to Aintree over the national fences as well. Cannot wait for the Becher. Who have we got with you? If you're watching on YouTube, like and subscribe. Facebook, welcome to the party. Get your comments in for the panellists below. Anything on Twitter, hashtag What a Shout. Paul Keeley, who usually sits on this panel with us, he is 5 minutes from Sandown. They missed the rain overnight from a Friday morning. There may be a bit coming for Tingle Creek Day, but it's tricky still there. They wanted it, they missed it, Pat. You're going to Aintree on Saturday where it should be a bit softer underfoot.
Yes, we're definitely working out, doing our sums on it. Definitely going to be soft ground at Aintree. And the Becher Chase, well, that's going to be a test of stamina, isn't it? So looking forward to it.
That is a deep race, isn't it? We'll get to that. Great to have Pat back. He'll be giving you all the market updates as we go along. We scour the racing world and I really cannot wait for this. It's a warm What a Shout welcome. Out in the cold he is to Jamie Snowden in Lambourne.
Hi, good morning, guys.
Jamie Snowden seems rather topically named this week, Jamie. You're now obviously, a Cheltenham Festival-winning trainer. We know that. Burgeoning operation, going well this year. It seems like only yesterday that Present View got over the line in the now defunct novice handicap chase at the Cheltenham Festival in 2014. What a day that was.
Oh, that really was a wonderful day. It's a shame they haven't got that race. It's a very special race, obviously, in our hearts, and a shame they had to get rid of it. But no, it was a great day.
Yeah, every time that's mentioned, certain people's eyes start twitching that it's not there, of course. Now run at Sandown. Jamie, we're going to get up a graphic in the studio of your best chasers so far by Racing Post rating. Is it GALAHAD, GALAHAD at the top of it? Of course, the Rising Stars winner, but there are some favourites down there, including Present View. There's Hogan's Height as well on it. You've had some real worldies through your hands. Where are we going this season, Jamie? Obviously, you had lots of crossbars last season, didn't you? And you're already up to this year's tally, is that right?
Yeah, I think we're 29 winners, is it, this season, which is great. Last year, obviously, COVID set in. We had a wonderful year the year before with 46, I think it was. So it'd be nice to think that kind of target's within reach.
Pat, it wasn't so long ago that we remember Jamie, of course, for his exploits in the saddle.
Yes, a very good ride. And of course, there was that the meeting at Sandown where it was just automatic, wasn't it? That you just put, whatever Captain Snowden's on, that's the most likely winner of the race. But it's easier said than done, of course. So he was a tremendous rider in his day and doing very well as the training. So
yes, Jamie, let's have a little word about that. Of course, Captain Snowden, your time in the military, you then left, of course, didn't you? After riding 100 winners under rules, or maybe a little bit more than that. Certainly, again, evergreen viewers and presenters like me will remember just going to Sandown at the start of the year and Royal Artillery and Grand Military and all that, just back whatever Captain Snowden's on. But you did go and study under Nicky Henderson and, of course, Paul Nicholls as well.
Yeah, I did. Obviously, my time in the army was great fun, and I was lucky enough to ride fairly good horses for both Paul and Nicky in those kind of races, and they were slightly steering jobs. So it's very kind of you to say that I was talented. I think I was able to put one leg either side of a horse and steer it in the right direction. But no, they were good days as well.
Oh, you were being extremely modest because, of course, Her Royal Highness Queen Elizabeth and the Queen Mum used to love going to Jamie's services, let's put it that way, in the saddle. You were fantastic, Jamie. What was the best horse you rode around Sandown, putting you a little curveball there?
I was fourth in the Whitbread on Wintenzo, having won on him 3 times that season. Paula Hula Blue, that was another very good horse I rode there. Inca Trail, First Love. Listen, I was blessed to ride a lot of nice horses.
Oh, First Love. Do you remember First Love?
I do, yeah.
In the Queen Mum colours. Oh, great days. Well, Jamie, let's just have a talk about his Tingle Creek weekend, one of the highlights of the season. The railway fences. What makes Sandown so special?
Well, I think you've said it yourself. Those railway fences, the 7 in the back straight, they're special, aren't they? They come up thick and fast, and you need a horse that's going to jump over them. And if you can jump and settle into a rhythm, handle the soft ground, then you've got every chance. Although it probably won't be as soft this time round, it is decent.
Right then, a little change up for us this week on What a Shout. We've ridded of the hot topics. Let's face it, it has been a rough week in the news for racing, and next week I'm sure we'll be going back. We had Tom Kerr last week, of course, hard-hitting, punching news lines. Hot topics will be back next week when we should be able to give you some good answers. There's been some juicy stuff coming on the headlines, isn't there? Stay tuned for that next week. But it's time to have a look at anti-post thought. Well, let's face it, everyone loves it. And here on What a Shout, we have a bit of fun. Let's get the market up on the screen here, because I've got one, and it's not amongst the top 5 favourites. You'll be delighted to know. You can see Hitman at the top there. Whether he runs, we'll find out. I mean, you wouldn't put it past Nichols, would you, to turn him out quickly? You've got Lalor there, who made his debut, of course, in the Paddy Power Gold Cup for Nichols as well. All sort of joint sevens. And Dostal Phil as well. Very eye-catching for Philip Hobbs, wasn't he? And Cool Cody, of course, and Midnight Shadow, who Cool Cody spilled over, didn't he, and left Midnight Shadow to go up in the Paddy Power. And he ran around all over the place. Whether he goes or goes to the King George, we'll find out. I like one, though, that was 5th. Just out of that, watch it back. Galahad Quest for the Williams team. And it's fair to say it wouldn't have really been his ground. He probably just needed it again. Watch him back. He cruises, and lacks that quickening finish. I think 3rd time up, an Aussie way of looking at things, always 3rd time up the peak, that's when they strike. 3rd time up, and this guy I think is on a very good mark. It's 10-1 if they all run. 16-1 with Bet365. Have a little look at that. There's an anti-post one there. You would like to look, not at the King George showpiece on Boxing Day, the day after when we're all hungover.
The day after, the Welsh National. Don't we all want to back the Welsh Grand National winner? And I was looking through the race yesterday, and I think this makes perfect sense to me. Ask Me Early, trained by Harry Fry. Now, this horse made a winning reappearance this season over hurdles. He's got form over fences, and when a horse sticks to hurdling, it just says one thing. It just screams, we've got a well-handicapped horse over fences here.
Yeah.
And this horse, he fits the bill. He's on 9.13 as we speak at the moment, an official rating of 139. He's clearly been kept for this race. You know, you could have looked at him thinking, what about Newbury last week? Well, the ground would have probably been wrong for him. He's your typical unexposed, progressive handicapper, course form.
Yeah.
Ticks so many boxes. And as I say, that recent win over hurdles, that was a decent effort in its own right. But I always like it when they just protect their chase mark and make a winning reappearance over hurdles. So it just screams to me, they mean business for this race, and hopefully they'll get the ground they want. So you're asking me early for a selection?
Right, let's look at the Cheltenham Festival. How's the portfolios looking? Can I start? Mm-hmm. Okay, as a lot of people know, I am put the kettle on for the Ryanair. Now, I know they've got Mboyan, who we're hopefully going to see in the John Durkan, obviously striking his stuff. He's not got that Cheltenham Fences tick, though. I'll probably be winding people up a little bit by that. This is a champion chase winner. They can't go to the Mayor's Chase. That would be ridiculous. After she ran on late, after hitting that, well, she looked paceless, didn't she, in the Schlur? On the ground, first time out. And this is the team that win these races. Aidan Coleman was really happy with that run. And I suggested then, come on, guys, that was a definite Ryanair trial, wasn't it? And delighted to see Henry's comments afterwards saying it will either be, that or that. But surely they've got to go with the champion chase winner for the Ryanair. Couple of questions. Honeysuckle, will the price change much, do you think?
I think the nearer we get to mid-March, the more she shortens up. I said to someone the other day, we were evens after she won on Sunday. If the champion hurdle was tomorrow afternoon at 3:15, she would be 2-1 on. And we were evens, and it just began. Now, no one's going to back a horse as a single at evens, but she just features in multiples. And as I say, if it's tomorrow, she's 2 on. And
if the race cuts up, you can see Tucson, can't you?
Yeah.
Absolutely, great mare. Comparisons to Dawn Run, absolutely right. John Bond, can we have a quick word about this? Nicky Henderson jumped like an absolute stag, didn't he? For want of a different expression. And looks the real deal. A brother to do that. What a stinky price, though, for the Supreme. We've not even seen it in the Mullins horses.
Yeah, he's hype, isn't he, more than anything at the moment? But he has been popular throughout all the multiples and so forth. And it's just how the trend is going. Now, you look at horses like Appreciate It. He's not jumped the fence yet he's a single. He's been priced up on the basis he's come out and won impressively.
Yeah.
So John Bond, he's somewhat similar as well. My reservation with John Bond, he was a bit leery at the start, wasn't he? And, all of a sudden there's a packed crowd at Cheltenham, a big roar goes up. He had the hood and, when he had the away day gallop, that didn't go that well. He might just be a bit immature.
I think he's the Batash of jumps.
Wow. He stays
that stopped
better.
you, didn't it?
He'll stay better.
Yeah.
I get the engine, but
Yeah.
I'd be more. I'd like to, if I was a backer, I'd like to see him there at the start, walking around like an old sheep.
It's all about price, isn't it? Because he looks like a beautiful horse. He's 1 from 1. He's got the connections. He's got the price tag. You know, he could well be the next Envoy Alan. First of the big praise previews then on Tingle Creek weekend. It comes at Sandown. It's the 150. It's Grade 1 action. Sometimes get forgotten about that. It's a novice chase. It is the Henry VIII. Let's go to Pat Cooney because third time lucky. 2 from 2 so far over fences at Cheltenham. A lot of people now starting to wake up to the fact that this might not be one for the Irish.
Absolutely, and he's a talented hurdler, wasn't he? And he's so far so good over fences. 6-4 though, this is his toughest task so far by a long way. We've actually laid Edwardstone of Alan King in the race for an each way angle. Can he win? Of course he can. Is he a bet at 6-4-ish? Not really. I actually like the horse of Paul Nicholls, Il Ridotto, that won at Newbury a week ago. And when he won, I thought the way he travelled, yes, I think he was bottom weight in a handicap, but it was the manner in which he travelled through the race. I just thought, I want to be with this fella until he gets beaten. That being said, I didn't think he'd turn up a week later and running in a Grade 1, but it's Paul Nicholls.
Yeah.
He knows his stuff. I think a speculative one. It's not there in the form book. It might be soon, but it's not there at the moment. But you got a chance to back a horse like Il Ridotto, who could be really, really good at a decent price. So why not back him on Saturday and just have a few quid on at a decent price? And he may win, and he may win on merit.
It's a price thing because he ran about 7s when the
That's
market went
right,
up with
that's
Bet365, which is bigger than I thought he would be. But then you look through his form, and of course he was way behind Warlord. I know he had a little problem that day. But I wonder whether Warlord has not been given the credit he's got so far for the Tizzards. He, of course, beat Manila Drama at Carlisle. Watch that back in your members club. Manila Drama whizzes home after the last, slightly in front after the line. But I think if they hold on to Warlord a little bit longer, I'm just surprised at the prices. It is a price thing for me.
Yeah.
Third time lucky, I'm a huge fan of. How can you not love third time lucky and what he's done so far? It's sensational. He's been at the October and even the November meeting in that key trial, even though he was tying up a bit on the line. He'd won his race 3 out, hadn't he? But I thought Warlord at 6-1 would do for me. Manila Drama, the railway fences will be the hide behind the sofa bit. If he emerges out of them, he'll be finishing like a train. Second to my Drogo, of course, at Aintree. Of course, we've got Warlord, the Tizzies, they're back, aren't they?
Yes.
The Grey, he jumps very, very well, Touchwood. And third time lucky. Hasn't he got lucky with the ground? Up to Aintree we go then. Thrilled to be on this card, I tell you. And it is the Many Clouds Chase. No album photo. Somewhat surprising, but he goes for a gallop now, doesn't he, on Punchestown, the dual gold cup winner. All eyes will be on that. That leaves the race wide open. And this is one, Pat Cooney, I might just have got right. I was asked at the start of the week for a bet of the week, away from the big races, and I put up Protector at. Hugely eye-catching on his return, of course, in the Cheltenham Handicap. I think he wants this trip now. Bridget Andrews takes the ride because Harry, of course, Nube Neguring down at Sandown. What price is he?
He's round about 13-8 as we speak at the moment, and it was a good run, wasn't it, in the handicap? He's the best horse in that race. He's got the course form, but this is 3 miles 1.
Listen, you can't put me off this. This was 5-1 at the start of the week.
Yeah, but 3 miles 1 on soft ground. And this is a talented lineup. He's not actually the top-rated horse on official ratings.
He beat the Shunter when he was there in Grade 1 company, man. This is his track. Everything's right. He wants the trip now. Surely, watch it back. How can you disagree?
Yeah, but as we say, prices dictate opinions. He's no gimme, is he, at current price? Yeah, he's got that because he's fit. His market rival, Native River, who is the top-rated in the race, lacks a recent run.
He wants some fences in the race finally, doesn't he? He's probably going to get them, isn't he?
It's a deep old race. And welcome back, Tiger Roll. I think Imperial Aura can win this. Now,
and where would he have finished at Haydock is something that everyone asked themselves, isn't it?
That's right. Now, you look at his form figures, UPF, but he's actually a decent jumper. And when he did fall in the Betfair, he was actually second favourite in the market at that time. So if you say he got beat 6 lengths and was second, you'd say, well, that's fair enough. That puts him bang there. And this, on Saturday, will be his second run back since a wind-up. He might just enjoy himself this time around. And
he's a classy operator.
He is a classy horse. And I say, Native is 11, Protector at the trip. You could say, well, Imperial Aura, he doesn't even get round anymore. You know, you could get a surprise result. This is one of these where you can get so many diverse opinions with so many talented horses in the race. But I'll go for Aura on the basis that I'm pretty sure he'd have been his second.
225, it is one of the jewels in the National Hunt season. It is the Tingle Creek. A small field again, but what a select one it is. And Chacun Pour Soir. We foresaw this a little while ago, didn't we? He does come over. Patrick Mullins takes the ride, friend of the show.
Yeah, and I just think the way the market is going with this, I think at the start of the week, we were all looking at last year's champion chase and going, well, hang on, Newbury Negro was second, Chasson was third, Greenatine was fourth. There's not that much between them all. But it has to be said, that was his worst run of the year, Chasson Poisson. He was 8-13 that day. And you look at his other 4 wins last season, and they were all stellar performances. And any one of those 4 performances, I think, would be good enough to win a Tingle Creek. We were 6-4. I think the public are latching on to the fact that this horse really is a champion. He's just got that one blip to his name last year. He was ahead of Greenatine that day anyway, so Greenatine, it was an okay reappearance in the Halden, but he's held, isn't he, technically?
By a hitman.
Yeah. So then you say, well, where's Newbury Negro in all this? Well, of course, he's bang there, and he's got the recent form to his name. The more I thought about it, though, I just thought the Chasson Poisson overall CV reads better than any of these. And I just think he'll continue to shorten up in the market because the public do latch on to these champions. I know he's not a champion in name, but he is technically.
They do strongly believe, the Mullins camp, that they left something on the table at Cheltenham. Everyone was saying it was the hill. Everyone was saying he wasn't right. They thought they got the tactics wrong. Again, this is a horse that struggled to get 3 runs in succession, wasn't he? He's had his problems.
Yeah.
Last year, he had a clean run at it. Look, if you remember first time out last season, it was the Hilly Way, wasn't it, that he won? And they thought he was 80% that day, and he still... First time out, would he be vulnerable? I don't know. These older horses, and he is now getting into that, that veteran stage, I tend to think that these camps get them fitter early because they know it's the start of the season rather than the end where they will get these Grade 1 prizes. I don't see him being beaten. When Shishkin came out, shock horror, big news we know last week as we covered with Nicky Anderson on the show, I felt sure he'd go odds on. I'm surprised he's not.
Yeah, I think odds on is imminent, personally.
Shall we go over the national fences? Soaring the panel have been, and they're about to do so. In the 240, it is the Becher Chase. Pat Cooney, let's come to you. Now we've got Chris's Dream, all being well, he turns up from Ireland, Henry de Bromhead, and a mark of 162. Was still going well in the national off 164 in April. Handicap has given him £2 off, but that means a lot of the field are out of the handicap. This is a deep renewal.
Absolutely, yeah. And our initial thoughts when we got the 5 days through was to make McTotty favourite for the race, who of course won over the national fences. But that was 2 miles 5. This is 3 miles 2 on soft ground. Now, he jumped for fun, and Connections did think, we hope he'll be a national horse afterwards.
I wonder whether Snow Leopardess might go off favourite. She's got a real following, this horse, hasn't she? And Aidan Coleman absolutely loves her. I love her. She came back at Bangor over a track sharp enough. She jumps for fun, this. 9 out of the last 10 winners had experience over the national fences. She doesn't. And I wonder whether they start coming for your old, your Vieux Leon Rouge, last year's winner, 2-time winner of the race. This is a serious race.
Yeah, absolutely. And I looked at Snow Leopardess, and again, when you get to pricing up, you always think, I know the punters like to go for those with experience, but I'm a bit like you. I'm going the other side. I'm going Mighty Thunder of Lucinda Russell. Now, form on soft,
Scottish national winner.
Scottish national, so you've got no worries about the trip. Lucinda Russell has trained a Grand National winner, one for Arthur, so she obviously thinks this horse will take to it. I think Mighty Thunder might be the one that goes off favourite. It was an honourable 4th at Wetherby on his reappearance, Charlie Hall Chase. Wetherby on a flat track, 3 miles, not his cup of tea. This is a different set of circumstances. I think he's the popular one, really, for me.
Yeah, he's definitely getting his eye in for Aintree, isn't he? All right, Snow Leopardess for me. If she gets up there and she gets in a rhythm, the grey mare can see them go. But there has been money for another horse in the week, and it is another Grand Sefton winner. And it's without further ado. You've been waiting for him in the wings. How is Hogan's Height doing? It was 2019 on this weekend when it was in its original status, this race, Jamie. He was just £1 lower when he took out the Grand Sefton.
Yeah, that's right. He, that was a great day. He jumped from the fence. He was having his first start over the fences for them like a duck to water. He's been he's been over them several times since in the Grand National and the Grand Sefton last month. Last season, nothing really went his way, poor chap. He ended up jumping out of the field and damaging himself. He then had a school around the cross country course at Cheltenham and got a thorn in a joint and had an operation on that. So how he ended up getting to national, God knows. So he was only about 60% fit at the time, but he ran 12th. We've had a very, very clear run of things this time around. He had a good spin over hurdles, but he can have a run in the Grand Sefton over 2.5, obviously on ground, off probably a high enough handicap mark. And really the stars are beginning to align with this handicap mark coming down, the rain coming, the step up in trip. and we go there in great form.
I love that. There's our headline. I'm looking in the gallery at Cole Mitchison, the producer. He's sticking his thumbs up. That'll be the headline line. The stars are aligning for Hogan's site. Listen, you can see it, can't you?
Oh, definitely. And I would say to people, look at the each-way terms on the race. Some firms will be paying first 5, others maybe first 6 and so on. And you could definitely see Hogan's hopping around being in the first 5, couldn't you?
He was second home of the British train runners in April, Jamie.
Yeah, he was. Second in the Grand National and a winner at the festival without the Irish.
Exactly that. Quite right. Jamie, superb. Listen, that is the Becher. You won't find a better preview of it anywhere in the land. Final big race preview for this weekend on What a Shout. It is the 3 o'clock. It's the London National fever everywhere. We're over the Becher, of course, the national fences, but Sandown, not to be denied, will take the 3 mile, whatever it is, 6 or something like that, isn't it? It's ridiculous. So you want to be a boat, basically. You want to jump really, really well. Who fills the category for Pat Cooney?
Well, the floodlights will be on by the time these finish their past the winning boats, won't they? Strictly a Dancer was my nap 2 weeks ago at Haydock, and he won. And he seems to run and win over 3 miles every 2 weeks. Well, I couldn't do that, but this fella obviously can. He's very talented. I just think the handicapper's suddenly getting acquainted with him by now. I thought he was ahead of him the previous time. And the horse I go for is Disa Abba. Not my star backing horse that's been pulled up in 3 of his recent 6 runs, but he was back in business last time out, I thought. And he's a talented horse when he gets it right. He went up 5 for getting beat. Well, OK, fair enough. And I just thought this version is a likeable version, and I don't really mind about the £5 raise. My only worry, I suppose, is 11.7. Would the ground be testing by then? It's not on pace to be extremely testing ground, so I thought he might get away with it. But I'm going to ignore if you take the P's out and you look at the times he's completed, he's got very interesting form.
I love Salty Boy as well. I put him up for the Southern National. So he's going up the national ranks, isn't he? And it wasn't, you again, look back in your members club, eyes, not ears. You look back, that final fence is when he really started to get going. This is the one that can take David Bridgewater back to the Saturday lights, I think. And I'm with the Salty Boy as well in the London National. Nap time. Now, Jamie Snowden has given us a weekend winner, but you're going to have to wait for the outro wrap for that. I'll go first if you don't mind. Second race at Aintree. High Moon, novice handicap for Rebecca Menzies. Henry Brook on. Has been learning his trade, shall we say, in novice company. Absolutely wants this trip, and he gets weight from plenty. Really excited about him. This would almost be double nap time for me this weekend.
OK, I'm also at Aintree. I'm in the 3:15, number 10, Tamar Bridge, Ollie Murphy, Adrian Heskin. Lightly raced. There's an interesting form line. He beat a horse called Bass Rock at levels by 8 lengths.
Yeah.
Now, Bass Rock has come out and won and run well again since. Bass Rock is currently rated 130. So on that basis, you think, well, Tamar Bridge, realistically, he beat him by 8 lengths at levels, should be rated 138. He's off 128 in the 3:15.
You're excited.
So I could legitimately say, well, there's £10 he's got in hand.
Your chance to get involved then with the ultimate Cheltenham Festival experience. We're calling it the Christmas Countdown giveaway here at Racing Post. Marvellous offer this. Basically, you and 3 pals in March at Prestbury Park, all days at the festival. You can win 5-star hotel, helicopter transfers to the course, eat and, of course, at the Chez Roux restaurant. Best views anywhere at Prestbury Park. All you have to do is have a bet on our Racing Post app on the selected date, and the lucky winners will get drawn randomly. Well, that's all we've got time for here on this week's What a Shout. Hasn't it been fun? It's been great to have you back. It's been great to have Jamie Snowden with us as well. Jamie, obviously, out and about. Work mornings have gone well. I'd love to ask you about your most recent winner, if you don't mind. A horse that's got a fantastic future ahead of him, touch wood. It's Kilteely Briggs, who won a very strong form race traditionally at Haydock in the week.
Yeah, that's right. I think Royal Pagaille won it last year. So, listen, it'd be lovely to think that Kilteely Briggs could turn up to be another Royal Pagaille. But he deservedly got his head in front. He placed in graded races over fences, novice chases, handicaps. He'd run well at the festival. But he deserved got his head in front over fences there on Wednesday. And
it would be remiss of me, Jamie, if I didn't give the viewers a little insight. Where do we think the next winner might be coming from Lambourne in your operation?
Well, apart from obviously Hogan's height in the Becher Chase Saturday, we got Tallow for Coal running up at Wetherby. He won last time out and gone up a few pounds, £6 for that win. But he stays well, jumps well, paid won well on him at Worcester the last day. So hopefully he's got every chance at Weatherby on Saturday.
Jamie, it's been great to have you on. All the best for the rest of the season ahead from us here at What a Shout.
You're very kind. Thank you very much. Thanks for having me on.
Brilliant stuff, that, wasn't it, from Jamie Snowden? Thank you, Pat Cooney, for coming back down again.
Yes, thoroughly enjoyed it.
He's marked your card.
He certainly has, and I'm at Aintree races tomorrow. 11:15 the first race. I don't think I've ever been at a meeting where it started at 11:15.
You're racking up that Uber account, aren't you?
Yeah, so if you see someone walking around with a pair of pyjamas on them, it'll be me.
We'll be back for you next Friday. Of course, it's the Racing Post Gold Cup. We're sponsoring, of course, the feature meeting at Cheltenham. But this weekend, so much for you to shake a stick at. Do gamble responsibly. That's our MO here at What a Shout. Don't forget to download the free Racing Post app. You can do that on the App Store or the Google Play Store itself. So from myself, Dave Orton, signing off. Lots of sport out there. Godspeed. Enjoy it.